How much do you think Trey Lance and the starters should play in this Thursday preseason finale?
Okay, I have a very definite opinion about this. And I'm more focused on Trey Lance than the other starters, but let's include them.
Sure.
At least a half.
Yeah.
And I and maybe more. And I have some things to say. Somebody wrote to me recently and said, you said, Lance should play a lot, and you're the kind of jerk. If he gets hurt, you'll blame Shanahan for playing him.
You won't.
I promise I won't.
Yeah, you won't.
I won't do that.
Yeah.
Football is a violent game. You prepare for the violence of football by playing
football,
not by doing cardiovascular work.
Nope.
It's about getting knocked to the ground and getting up, and it's a whole other thing. The starters, and especially the quarterback, need to have the feel of the violence of football.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they won't be ready for game one. And haven't you noticed the first game of the season is often crummy? Not for
the first month.
First month.
The first month. Yeah.
And it's because the coaches don't get enough time with them, as much time with them as they used to.
Right.
And the practices are softer than they used to be. So I'm going to say, the first month, it improves, but the product is crummy for the first 3 or 4 weeks. And that's because they're not playing enough.
Right.
Okay. In addition, we've just talked at length about Trey Lance.
Right.
He's learning.
Yes.
He needs to play to learn.
Right.
He's not going to learn watching the second and third string quarterbacks. That idea is ridiculous. He needs to be in plays where he passes on the run, passes from the pocket, passes deep, passes over the middle, which he's not so great at. He needs to do all of that. And one other thing I want to say, I read a lot about these, and hear a lot about these preseason games being about the all-important question of who's going to be the second or the third quarterback. Who gives a crap?
That's over. That's over.
The issue is the first quarterback.
Yeah.
So you know what, Iggy? If Kyle wanted to play him 3 quarters, that'd be fine by me too. And these other 2 guys who are currently non-entities may become great in the future. Let them struggle, on a side field or in the 4th quarter or late in the 3rd quarter. But no, this is about the starters, and this is about Trey Lance getting onto the field and actually playing football.
Look, I wouldn't have Trey Lance play in the second half behind a second string offensive line, because those guys, you want people actually protecting him. But I do agree.
But I'm saying if you play him, then play the first string offensive line.
I agree with that. And I agree, play him the entire first half. Play the entire offense the first half, because yes, Trey Lance needs reps, but frankly, the entire offense has struggled big time in camp. Yes, they're going against a dominant defense, but they need something to build confidence and rhythm going into something to build confidence for going into week 1, because they didn't get it this week. So what they used to do was they used to game plan for these games. They called it the dress rehearsal. And not only would the starters play the first half, but they would prepare all week like it was a real game. The media wouldn't be there to watch. They would game plan. I was there. They weren't game planning, which is weird. It's a whole different era. Because I'd like to see, it's not just Trey who's on trial here. What about Kyle? You got to show that you know how to call plays for this offense. You had a feel for the other offense. Now you want to switch it up. What are you going to call? What works? Let's show something that worked, because you were searching all training camp and you didn't necessarily find anything.
And Iggy, he was searching at the beginning of last season.
That's right.
They had a losing record.
That's right. It took them until they were 2-4, until almost November, before he figured out, all right, forget all the stuff I was trying to do. Debo, you're a running back. We're going to do something totally different. To his credit, he got there, but they were on life support.
They were. And he doesn't want to have to delay again. No. They have to practice football, and he has to figure it out now, not in the 6th game.
I got to tell you something I learned speaking to our cousin, the old football guru. I didn't know this before my time. It used to, apparently back in the day, 14-game seasons, and there were 6 preseason games. 6. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
I didn't know that. That's amazing. And it's like, now, of course, you wouldn't do that because it's a waste of time and money, but that's how it used to be to get prepared for football. 6 preseason games, 14 regular season games. Now it's 3 preseason games, 17. It's hilarious. Yeah, these are really important. And if you want to be good, the first few, because the Niners are notorious slow starters, at least on offense. You want to be good?
Did I lose you?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Let me make sure I still got the right thing set up. Yep. All right. Okay.
Yeah, and again, if you want to be good, you have to play football. You can't put this kid who's really, really inexperienced. You can't put him standing there looking at the other people play. I'd rather have him ready than have the second string quarterback ready.
There's a stat that if you tally up all of Trey Lance's regular season throws from last year, plus his whatever he did at North Dakota State, it's still less than 400 throws since high school. Like Tom Brady threw the ball 600 times last season.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like Trey Lance is going to throw the ball 400 times this season. So he's outrageously inexperienced. Yes, play him.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
If Shanahan would continue to play his starters into the third quarter and Lance, do you think that would be a good idea or a bad idea?
It's not that simple. It's tough. As soon as someone gets hurt, then you say, oof, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's no easy answer for a head coach. You got to weigh the risks and reward. It depends on, look, if they play well in the first half, maybe reward them and say, good job, guys. Good. Let's go out. Let's go out on a high note. If they struggle in the first half, maybe like we're not getting off the field until you do something good today, guys. How about that?
I like that.
Yeah.
I like
and
that.
If you get hurt, well, then maybe you should have played better in the first half so we didn't have to be out there in the third quarter.
I like that. I
like that.
I like when you get tough, Iggy.
Josh says, isn't it fair to say we don't necessarily need a top 10 quarterback if we come so close 2 out of the 3 years with Jimmy G, but just need a solid quarterback? Look, the way I look at the history of the NFL, the teams that win Super Bowls either have a top 10 quarterback or a guy who plays that well in the playoffs for a stretch, like Joe Flacco did that one time. It's really hard to carry your quarterback an entire postseason. Niners came close. It's hard to do. I don't know.
Right, and they tried to carry Jimmy, and it's obvious they were carrying him, but he's a very, I like a lot of things about Jimmy.
Yeah.
He's really gutsy. He's gritty. He tries very hard, and he can go through stretches where he's very good, but he's ultimately not good enough.
Right.
He's a C, C plus.
Like if he's the 16th best quarterback in the league, which might be generous, that will put him right in the middle, which would be a C. There's nothing to be ashamed of with that. You're one of the 16 best quarterbacks in the world. Still not good enough, though.
No.
Still not good enough, especially for the 49ers.